Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rush Pages podcast to learn real English through real conversations. I'm Emma.
And I'm James, and we are really happy you're here today.
We really are, because today's topic is one of those topics that sounds so simple at first, so harmless, so easy.
Yes, you hear the title and you think, oh, this will be a relaxed episode. I know my routine. I wake up, I eat, I sleep. Done.
Done, finished, goodbye.
And then 5 minutes in, someone asks you in English, so, James, what does your day look like? And suddenly your brain goes completely quiet.
Like someone turned off the lights.
Total darkness. You know the words in your head. You just cannot find them fast enough. And so you say, I wake up, I do things, and then I sleep.
Which is technically accurate.
Technically very accurate, just not very impressive.
No, not very impressive at all. And that is exactly why we are here today. Because describing your daily routine in English, naturally, confidently, with the right words, is actually one of the most useful skills you can build.
Yes, because people ask about your routine all the time. In job interviews, on first dates, when you meet someone new, when you're making small talk with a colleague.
And if you can answer that question smoothly, with detail, with expression, with real English, you immediately sound fluent, even if you're still learning.
So today, Emma and I are going to have a real conversation about our routines. The honest ones, not the perfect Instagram version.
Definitely not the Instagram version. Mine involves a lot of lying in bed, checking my phone, and pretending that counts as morning reading.
Oh, we are going to have a very honest episode today.
The most honest. And along the way, we'll be teaching you the vocabulary, the expressions, and the sentence structures you need to describe your own routine in English.
So whether your routine is perfectly organized or beautifully chaotic, there is language for it. And we are going to give it to you today.
Let's begin. All right, James, let's start at the very beginning. The morning. What time do you actually wake up?
Okay, honest answer.
Honest answer.
My alarm goes off at 6:30, and then I hit snooze. And then it goes off again at 6:45. And then I lie there for another 10 minutes telling myself I'm resting my eyes. My alarm goes off at 6:30, and then I hit snooze. And then it goes off again at 6:45. And then I lie there for another 10 minutes telling myself I'm resting my eyes.
Resting your eyes. That's a very creative phrase for what is clearly just sleeping.
It is absolutely just sleeping, but it feels more intentional when you call it that.
You know, there's actually a great English expression for that. When you hit snooze and go back to sleep, people say they're having a lie in. A lie in means staying in bed longer than you planned, usually in the morning, just resting or sleeping a little more.
Yes, I have a lie-in every single morning of my life.
Every morning,
Every morning, even when I have somewhere important to be.
That is commitment. So, when do you actually get up?
Realistically, about 7. Maybe 7:15 on a slow day, and then I kind of stumble to the bathroom. Stumble. That means to walk in an unsteady, half-asleep way. Like your legs work, but your brain hasn't arrived yet.
your brain is still on the pillow.
Exactly. My brain has not left the bedroom yet. So I stumble to the bathroom, I splash some water on my face, and slowly, very slowly, I start to feel like a human being.
I love that phrase. Feel like a human being. It means to feel normal, awake, and functional, which apparently takes a while in the morning for some people.
For me, it takes approximately 1 cup of coffee and 20 minutes of silence.
20 minutes of silence. Do you actually get that?
Almost never, but I try.
I understand that completely. My mornings are a little different, though. I'm one of those people who wakes up and immediately feels awake, like my eyes open and I'm ready.
I don't trust those people.
James!
I'm serious. It's unnatural.
It's not unnatural. I think I'm a morning person. And a morning person is someone who naturally has more energy and feels better earlier in the day, as opposed to a night owl, someone who is more alert, more productive, more alive at night.
I am a night owl who is forced to live in a morning person's world.
That is the saddest thing you've ever said.
It really is. It's a daily struggle.
Okay, so walk me through your actual morning routine once you're finally fully awake.
All right. So, after coffee and silence, or the attempt at silence, I usually take a shower, get dressed, and then try to eat something before I leave the house. I say try because sometimes I run out of time and I end up grabbing something on the way.
Grabbing something on the way. That's such a natural English phrase. It means picking up food or something quickly, usually from a shop or a stall, because you're in a hurry.
Yes, grabbing something, not a full meal, just something, anything, whatever stops the hunger until lunch.
I try to actually sit down and eat breakfast. For me, breakfast is non negotiable. Non negotiable, meaning it's something I will not skip no matter what. It's fixed, it's certain, it's happening.
What do you usually have?
Eggs, usually, or oats, something that keeps me full for a few hours. Because if I skip breakfast by 10 o'clock, I am completely useless. I cannot think. I cannot focus.
You just stare at the wall.
I stare at the wall and I think about food, which is not productive,
Not ideal for a working morning, no.
not ideal at all. So, breakfast is very important for me. And then after breakfast, I usually spend about 15 minutes just organizing my thoughts, looking at what I need to do that day. Not a long planning session, just a quiet moment to get my head in the right place.
That's actually a really good habit. Getting your head in the right place, meaning mentally preparing yourself, becoming focused and ready for what's ahead.
Exactly. It helps me feel less scattered when the day gets busy. Scattered, meaning disorganized all over the place, like your thoughts are flying in different directions.
I feel scattered every morning, without exception.
We'll work on that, James.
Okay, let's talk about the middle of the day, the working hours. James, what does your working day look like?
So I work from home, which sounds amazing in theory.
And in practice?
In practice, it means my sofa is very close to my desk, and they compete for my attention constantly.
The sofa is always winning, isn't it?
The sofa wins more than I would like to admit. But I do have a routine that I try to stick to. I try to start work by 9. I sit down, I make a list of what I need to get done. Just 3 main things, not 20. And I go from there.
That's such a sensible approach. Not overwhelming yourself with a huge list, just three clear priorities.
Yes, because if I write 20 things, I spend the whole day feeling behind and panicking. But 3 things? 3 things I can handle. And if I finish them and have time left, great. If not, I got the important things done.
That feeling of being behind, it's exhausting. When you feel behind, it means you feel like you haven't done enough, like you're falling short of where you should be.
Yes, and that feeling alone can make you less productive, which makes you feel more behind, which makes you less productive.
It's a cycle.
A very unpleasant cycle. So I find that keeping the list short actually breaks that cycle.
I like that. For me, I have a slightly different approach. I work better when I have a set schedule. A set schedule, meaning a fixed, consistent plan that happens at the same time every day.
So, like 9 to 12, lunch, 1 to 5?
Something like that, yes. I find that when I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and when I waste less time deciding, because deciding what to do next takes energy too.
That is so true. And the decision itself is tiring.
Exactly. There's actually a phrase for this: decision fatigue. It means the mental exhaustion that comes from making too many choices throughout the day. The more decisions you make, the worse your later decisions become.
Which explains why by 4 in the afternoon, I cannot decide what to have for a snack. And I just stare into the fridge for 5 minutes.
That is textbook decision fatigue, James.
I'm a case study.
You really are. Do you take breaks during the day?
I try to. I'm not always great at it. Sometimes I get into something and I lose track of time. Lose track of time, meaning you become so absorbed in what you're doing that you stop noticing how much time has passed.
Oh, I do that too, especially when I'm writing something and it's going well. And then I look up and it's 3 in the afternoon and I haven't eaten lunch and I'm slightly dizzy,
Slightly dizzy and very hungry.
very hungry, which is when I realize I should have taken a break 2 hours ago.
I read somewhere that taking short breaks actually improves your focus overall. Like stepping away from work for even 10 minutes helps your brain reset.
Yes, there's a method called the Pomodoro technique, where you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Work, break, work, break. It sounds very simple, but it really works for a lot of people.
I've tried it. It works until my 5-minute break somehow becomes 30 minutes.
The break expands.
The break always expands. It's a natural law.
Okay, James, let's talk about the afternoon and evening, because I think this is where people's routines really differ. Some people are done by 5 and have a whole evening free. Others are working until midnight.
Right. And I think the evening routine is actually really important for how you feel the next morning, too.
That's so true. They're connected. What does your afternoon usually look like?
So after work, or after I close my laptop and pretend I'm done for the day,
After you officially declare yourself finished.
yes, officially, I try to do something physical. Go for a walk, maybe a run if I'm feeling ambitious. And ambitious here just means feeling motivated to do something that requires a bit more effort than usual.
Feeling ambitious. I like that. So it's not ambitious like starting a business, it's ambitious like choosing the longer route for your walk.
Exactly. Small ambition, manageable ambition.
I love it. Do you always manage the walk?
Most days, not every day. Some days I sit on the sofa and tell myself the walk is happening in a few minutes for about 2 hours.
And then,
And then it's dark outside and the walk has been quietly canceled.
Quietly canceled. No announcement, just gone.
Just dissolved into the evening. But on the days I do go, I feel so much better afterward. There's something about moving your body after sitting all day that just clears your head.
it really does. Exercise, even just walking, has such a big effect on your mood and your energy. For me, afternoons are usually when I do errands. Errands, those small but necessary tasks you need to do in real life: going to the shop, paying a bill, picking something up, the practical, unglamorous side of adult life.
Unglamorous, that's a great word. Not exciting, not impressive, but necessary.
Very necessary. Adulting, as people say now.
Adulting. The ongoing experience of doing responsible things you don't particularly want to do.
Perfectly put. And then in the evenings, I like to cook. I find cooking quite relaxing after a busy day. It's something that requires just enough attention to keep your mind occupied, but not so much that it feels like work.
I understand that. Cooking as a wind down activity. Wind down, meaning to gradually relax and slow your pace after a busy or stressful period.
Exactly. And then dinner, obviously. And after dinner, I try to decompress. Just sit with a cup of tea, maybe watch something, read a few pages of a book.
Decompress is such a good word. It means to relax and release stress, like the pressure of the day slowly being let out, like a balloon very gently deflating.
That's such a perfect image. A balloon gently deflating. I'm going to use that.
Please do.
What about you? Evenings.
Evenings, I'm usually at my most awake, which is both a blessing and a curse. A blessing because I'm productive, I can read, I can have good conversations. A curse because I stay up too late, and then the whole next morning is a disaster.
The night owl returns.
The night owl never left, Emma. He just pretends during the day.
I love that. So, what do you actually do in the evenings?
Usually want to watch something, read, sometimes call a friend or family member. I try to stay off my phone for the last hour before bed. Try being the key word.
It's hard. The phone is very persuasive.
Very persuasive. It just sits there glowing and offering you one more video. Just one more. And you think, okay, just one. And then it's midnight.
And suddenly you have 17 thoughts about things you saw online and you cannot sleep.
Exactly. The phone is not your friend at 11 p.m.
James, let's talk about habits because a routine is really just a collection of habits. And I think a lot of our listeners are trying to build better habits or understand why some habits stick and others don't.
Yes. And I think the honest answer is habits are hard. Everyone knows what they should do. Actually doing it consistently is the challenge.
Consistently, meaning regularly over a long period of time without stopping, not just once or twice, but day after day.
Yes. And I think the mistake a lot of people make is they try to change too much at once. They say, what is starting Monday? I will wake up at 5, exercise for 1 hour, eat perfectly, meditate, read 20 pages, and be in bed by 9.
And that lasts for approximately 3 days.
Sometimes less. Sometimes Monday itself is already too much.
Monday never stood a chance.
Poor Monday, it tries.
So, what actually works? What habits have you managed to build that actually stuck?
For me, the ones that stuck were the ones I made small. Almost embarrassingly small. Like, I wanted to read more. So instead of saying, I'll read for an hour every night, I said, I'll read 2 pages before bed.
Just 2 pages.
Just 2. And the thing is, once you open the book and read 2 pages, you usually read more. But the commitment is only 2 pages. So even on a terrible day when everything went wrong and you're exhausted, 2 pages is doable.
That's such a smart approach. Make the entry point so small that you have no excuse not to do it. There's actually a concept called habit stacking where you attach a new habit to an existing one. So, for example, after I make my morning coffee, I will write in my journal for 5 minutes. The coffee is the trigger, the journaling is the new habit.
So you borrow the energy of an existing habit to launch a new one.
Exactly. You're not creating something from nothing. You're just adding a small thing onto something you already do automatically.
I tried that with exercise. After I close my laptop, I put on my shoes. That's it. Just put on the shoes. Because once the shoes are on, I feel ridiculous sitting back down.
The shoes are a commitment.
The shoes are a very powerful commitment.
I love that. And I think the other thing that matters is being kind to yourself when you miss a day. Because missing one day doesn't ruin a habit, but feeling terrible about missing one day and then giving up, that ruins the habit.
Yes, There's a difference between a slip and a collapse. A slip is one missed day. A collapse is deciding that one missed day means you've failed and you should just stop entirely.
And the voice in your head that says, well, you already missed yesterday, so today doesn't matter either. That voice is not your friend.
That voice is very convincing, though.
Very convincing and very wrong.
Very wrong. Progress is not linear. It doesn't go perfectly upward every day. Some days you go backward a little. That doesn't mean the overall direction has changed.
Beautifully said, James.
I have my moments.
Okay, we've been talking about our routines this whole episode, and hopefully you've been picking up language along the way. But let's now be a little more deliberate. Deliberate, meaning intentional, on purpose, done with full awareness.
Yes, because one of the most practical things we can do for you today is give you the actual sentence patterns you need to describe your routine in English. Because the vocabulary is important, but so is the structure.
Exactly. So let's walk through some of the most natural ways to talk about your daily routine in English.
The first and most important, using the present simple tense for routines. I wake up, I eat, I go, I finish. These are habits and routines. Things that happen regularly, not I am waking up. That sounds like it's happening right now. Just, I wake up at 7,
Simple, clean, clear.
and you can add time expressions to make it more specific. I wake up at 7. I usually have breakfast by 8. I tend to finish work around 6. The words usually, tend to, typically, these soften the statement and make it sound more natural. Because real routines aren't perfectly the same every day.
Right. You're not a robot. Saying, I always do X at exactly this time sounds a little rigid. But I usually or I tend to, that sounds like a real person.
Exactly. And then there are transition phrases, words that show the order of your routine. First, I wake up. Then I shower. After that, I make coffee. Later in the morning, I start work. By midday, I've usually finished the important tasks. These words show time and sequence, and they make your routine description flow beautifully.
Flow, meaning move smoothly without awkward stops or gaps, like water, not rocks.
Like water, not rocks. I love that.
Thank you. Another useful structure, talking about how long something takes. I spend about an hour cooking. I usually take 15 minutes to get ready. My commute takes around 30 minutes. The phrase, it takes, is incredibly useful.
And I spend time doing something. I spend my evenings reading. I spend Sunday mornings cleaning. Very natural, very common.
And finally, talking about how your routine makes you feel. Because language is not just facts, it's emotion too. My morning run makes me feel alive. I find cooking quite relaxing. Having a quiet breakfast sets a good tone for the whole day.
That last one is beautiful. Sets a good tone for the whole day, meaning it creates a positive mood or atmosphere that carries through everything that follows.
Exactly. And these kinds of sentences where you say how your routine affects you emotionally, those are what make you sound not just fluent, but thoughtful, like someone who has really reflected on their own life.
And that honestly is impressive in any language.
And now let's slow down and go through some of the key words and expressions from today's conversation because we've used so many good ones and we want to make sure they stay with you.
Yes. So if you heard a word or phrase today and thought, wait, what exactly was that? This is your moment. Let's go. First, have a lie-in. To have a lie-in means to stay in bed longer than planned in the morning, resting or sleeping a little more. For example, I love having a lie-in on Sunday mornings. Repeat. Have a lie-in.
Have a lie-in. Next, stumble.
To stumble means to walk in an unsteady, clumsy way, often because you're tired or not fully awake. For example, I stumbled to the kitchen half asleep. Repeat. Stumble.
Stumble. Next, morning person and night owl.
A morning person is someone who naturally has more energy in the early part of the day. A night owl is someone who is more alert and productive late at night. For example, my sister is a morning person, but I'm definitely a night owl. Repeat. Morning person. Night owl.
Morning person, night owl. Next, non-negotiable.
If something is non-negotiable, it means it is fixed and certain. You will not change it or skip it. For example, breakfast is non-negotiable for me. Repeat. Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Next, lose track of time.
To lose track of time means to become so absorbed in something that you stop noticing how much time has passed. For example, I lose track of time whenever I read a good book. Repeat. Lose track of time. To lose track of time means to become so absorbed in something that you stop noticing how much time has passed. For example, I lose track of time whenever I read a good book. Repeat. Lose track of time.
Lose track of time. Next, wind down.
To wind down means to gradually relax after a period of activity or stress. For example, I like to wind down in the evening with a cup of tea. Repeat. Wind down.
Wind down. Next, decompress.
To decompress means to relax and release stress, like slowly letting go of the tension from a busy day. For example, I need an hour to decompress after work before I can have a real conversation with anyone. Repeat. Decompress.
Decompress. Next, consistently.
Consistently means regularly and continuously over time. Doing something the same way again and again. For example, the key to building a habit is doing it consistently. Repeat. Consistently.
Consistently. Next, deliberate.
Deliberate means intentional and done with full awareness. On purpose. For example, good routines are built through deliberate, small choices every day. Repeat. Deliberate.
Deliberate. And finally, set the tone.
To set the tone means to create a mood or atmosphere that influences what follows. For example, a quiet, calm morning sets the tone for a productive day. Repeat. Set the tone.
Set the tone. Beautiful. 10 words and expressions, all from real conversation, all incredibly useful in everyday English.
And I think that brings us to the end of today's episode.
It does. And I really enjoyed this one, James. Talking about routines sounds simple, but there is actually so much to say.
So much, and so much language inside it.
Exactly. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, please like the video, subscribe to Rush Pages, and leave us a comment. We really do read every single one.
And here's today's comment question. Tell us, what is one thing you always do in the morning, no matter what? One non-negotiable part of your routine. We would love to hear it.
Keep it short, keep it honest. We love both.
We really do.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, your English grows a little every single day, even on the days it doesn't feel like it.
Especially on those days.
This is Emma,
And this is James.
and you have been listening to the Rush Pages podcast. See you in the next one.